Welcome to the Gary Cantrell podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in as always. Before we get started today, just kind of a background or kind of note, the podcast has switched providers, which I've done this once before, and this is less messier because all the episodes came with me. And please let me know if you are having any trouble accessing any of the shows. But I do believe even with the last provider, I was previously using Libsyn. I do believe not even all those shows were up. And moving now to Anchor.fm, I believe every single show is now available. So if you were somebody who was hitting me up, and I did get a couple of messages, people saying, hey, I was going through old episodes and I noticed that episode 10 was missing. What's the story with that? You should now be able to access every single episode through Anchor.fm and also the normal way that you get your podcast. So if you were with me on iTunes, absolutely nothing changes. Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Stitcher, no matter what it is, everything should remain exactly the same. And if for whatever reason you notice that not to be the case, please bring it to my attention. Unfortunately, believe it or not, I do not have myself subscribed on every single podcast app, so I'm not aware of, any particular issues, but I know that there's been some great folks in the past who, when I switched last time, said, hey man, I was trying to get your new podcast and I noticed I couldn't get it, and that kind of stuff. So I do appreciate any kind of feedback on that you can give me if for whatever reason you are unable to get the podcast. Also, with now being on Anchor, I want to open the floor to you. So if you ever have any questions that you want me to answer right here on the show, download the Anchor app. It's totally free. And they have a little button when you go to my page, when you follow me, it should just be anchor.fm/Gary's podcast. And so when you have Anchor and you hit the favorite button and you got my page, there should be a button on there that says message. And what this allows you to do is to send me a voicemail type message. And I have the ability to play these messages on the show. How cool is that? So you could be on this show by way of asking a question. If you just want to say, hey man, love the show, or, whatever it is that you want to do, hit up the Anchor app on iOS and Android or wherever you get your apps. Subscribe to the show, number one, and hit that message button, and it's going to allow you the opportunity to send messages to this program and hear yourself on this show. I don't really have the format figured out yet. Like, I don't know if it's something that I'll just play at the end of the show, or if it's something that kind of ties into a theme I want to do. Maybe it'll be something to where I just insert the clip like right here. I'm not actually putting a clip here, but like, let's just say I was talking about, I don't know, cardio versus weights, or, rest days, cheat days, whatever it is. And then you say, hey, Gary, I've got a question about, should I have a cheat day, or whatever. And I'll play the clip and then I'll give the answer on the show. So if I get enough of them, we could do one just Q&A episode, or I could just insert a couple at the beginning or end of the podcast, whatever you guys prefer. This is really up to you guys. I know my name's on it and I do what I want on the show, but ultimately when people come to me and they say, hey, I feel like this or whatever about your show, and they have like an idea or a thought about it, then I like to introduce those. So feel free, leave a message on the Anchor app and we will play them on the show. And that's it. I want to bring you guys bring you into the show. This is your show. It's my name on the show, but this is ultimately your show. You guys listen. And if I didn't have anybody listening to this thing, what the hell would I be doing? I wouldn't be doing a podcast. So your support is everything. It means the world to me. And I need all the support I can get right now, honestly. The one thing I love about this podcast is that I can just turn on the mic and be as real and raw and honest with you guys as humanly possible. And that is exactly what I'm going to do today. And, you know, I have no shame in my game, as they say. I, as uncomfortable as it may seem to share this, I feel completely comfortable because I feel like people that listen to the show, the people that I know listen to the show that give me feedback and stuff like that, are, you know, like I feel like I know you guys and I feel like I can speak honestly and frankly with you guys, but I'm in a slump right now. Honestly, this is, and it's not like a weight loss thing. This is just like a mental thing. As you guys been following the last couple of episodes, I have just been going through a bunch of things, had a couple family members that have passed on, and I just feel like that combined with, you know, maybe because the summer's over and I get this weird kind of slight depression kind of thing whenever the summer's over, because it is my favorite season. That kind of kicks in, and I think it's just a number of things that it's almost created what you might call the perfect storm. And I just feel like I'm in this slump. I feel like, you know, I'm almost at a point now where I feel like I don't want to do anything. A lot of it's creative based. So you'll be happy to know I have not missed any days of the gym except for, I think I missed a Friday. This past Friday I had to go help a family member of mine with something. And then let's see, I feel like I missed one other day. I think I missed Labor Day. So like in the past 3 or 4 weeks, I've honestly missed 2 days, which is not like me. It's certainly nothing to beat myself up over, but I luckily have, you know, understood that this is an issue and I've not let it really, you know, bog me down. I'm still going to the gym. I actually just got back from the gym. I did an hour. I just did an hour of cardio. I just felt like one of the things when I get to the gym, and this goes back to a lot of the customization that I talk about, is, you know, I listen to my body. I listen to my mind. And if I'm not feeling something, I don't force it. So there are days when I go to the gym, especially lately, where I just feel like I don't want to be there. But no matter what, I have to show up. Like I don't let myself not show up. I have to show up. It's the way I feel. Other than these 2 days that I missed, I felt like I have to be there. And so the way that I get through that, the way I process that, and this is why I'm sharing this, because maybe there are people out there that have felt similar things. Like there are days they felt like they didn't want to go or what have you. And so for me, it's like, I just find something that I can tolerate doing. So, you know, I was like, okay, I'm just really in the mood to sit on my iPad and watch YouTube videos. And so what do? I go on the elliptical, which I have been doing a lot lately. I think I talked about that in another podcast, and I am getting a good workout with it, but I'm like, I don't really want to push it on the stairs or anything like that. So I'm going to go on the elliptical for like an hour and just watch videos. And I'm getting stuff done because I'm burning a lot of calories. I'm probably burning an average of, I don't know, let's see what I burn. What did I burn today? Like 800 something active calories. So like stuff is getting done, but mentally I'm just not feeling it. It's weird. But again, it's not really just like a weight loss thing. It's like I get up and, you know, I've got a number of things to do. I've got a couple of projects I've been working on, and I just haven't been motivated to finish them. And it's not because I don't want to finish them. It's just because I've been going through like a mental, whatever the hell this is. I don't know what it is. I just turned 36 like 2 weeks ago. Found out family members passed on like right before my birthday. So I don't know if that has something to do with it. You know, the fact that I just turned 36 and I feel like, what the hell have I been doing with my life? Honestly, guys, I don't know. I don't know the answer. I don't have all the answers. You know, is this one of those weird midlife crisis type of things, even though I'm only 36, which, you know, I guess what a lot of people have the midlife stuff in their 40s. I don't know what it is. I don't have all the right answers. I'm a guy who has been through a lot of shit, honestly, in his life. And I'm still figuring things out. I think I've talked about this in some of the podcasts, but I was okay at school. I skipped out on college. I worked a bunch of crappy retail stuff for a couple of years before I got a break in printing. And that break in printing led to the job that I have today. And I'm extremely thankful for these things. But, when it comes time to flex my creative muscle, which is what I do outside of my job, I just haven't been motivated in the last couple of weeks. And, I traveled with a couple of my friends, different places, and I was hoping that would kind of, snap me back into reality. And it was good for the time that I was gone. And when I got back, I just realized I had the same problems that I had before. And, it's hard to talk about in the sense because it's like I don't know all of what's going on. And, I've talked with my wife about it. We've had our own little fights about it because she's like, what the hell's wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know. And I literally don't know. Maybe it's just a number of things. I really, honestly, guys, I don't know. I don't even know why the hell I'm talking about this right now, because people are like, dude, man, you're like really putting it out there. And I mean, what else? What the hell else am I going to do on this podcast? This is what I do. I put it out there. I share it with you guys because this is real life. This is what the podcast is supposed to be. When I'm not talking to somebody else, I'm sharing real experiences in my life, and it's almost like a vlog. Like, take YouTube for instance. I've been wanting to do a bunch of stuff on there, and I've been just procrastinating to death. Doing stuff on YouTube, IGTV, Instagram. I haven't posted nearly what I used to post. And I guess I'm just kind of in a funk right now, and I've got to find the way out of it. And it's just something that I've got to figure it out. And I got to, the first step I think is always identifying the issue, and I've identified it. So now I've got to figure out what steps I can take to get myself out of it. My eating's not been so great. Completely honestly, it's not been amazing. It's not been terrible either. I mean, this is like the one thing I always try to find the positive in everything. And the one thing that I found is that it's nowhere near what it used to be. My God, it's not even freaking close to where I was before. So luckily, that's not becoming an issue. I think if anything, it's like, okay, I've got, I still got the workouts going, and that's awesome. And the eating could be better. It's not horrible. But where I'm really hurting, instead of hurting myself with food, I'm hurting myself with lack of creativity. And this now more than ever is what I need in my life is to exercise this creativity. It keeps me sane. It's like, you think about it like this. We all get up every morning and we go to the job that we have to go to. It's just what we do until we figure out something else, right? It's what we have to do. And so like, I'm okay with all that. I have no problem with that. I get up, I go to my job. I love my job. I don't have a problem with my job. Okay. But do I want to be more creative? Of course I do. So I have activities outside of work that flex that creative muscle that quote unquote keep me sane, going forward. So it's like it's almost like I have my cake and eat it too. I go to my job, I make money, I support my family, and then I come home and I have all this cool stuff that I do outside of the house. And when all that stuff falls apart, it becomes a mess. And so that is really the situation that I'm in. And this is probably on the levels of my episode that I did about my father, episode 31, for those of you guys that are newer listeners, in terms of levels of difficulty to talk about. This is tough because this is calling myself out on my own bullshit and saying, hey, dude, you've got a big problem here and you need to figure this out before it goes too far. And that's the situation I'm in. So I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what it is. It's like, do you play the wait and see? you kind of give it another, week or so and just see kind of what happens. I don't have that answer, unfortunately. What I do know, what I have been doing is I get up, I go to work, I go to the gym, and I come home. And I like to keep it just that simple. And so for right now, that is the answer for me. Unfortunately, a lot of other stuff gets pushed off to the side. There was a time where I had, just to pull back the curtain a little bit, there was times where I had weeks of podcasts recorded and ready to go. And here I am recording this thing a night or two before it actually is supposed to be posted. And that is something that I do not like. You go on my YouTube channel, and the last video on there that I actually recorded was probably 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Same goes for IGTV, although I think I posted one from Busch Gardens like a week ago. So that's my current situation. That's me just being as real, as raw, as honest as I possibly can be with you guys. And it pains me because I don't like to share, I'm absolutely fine with sharing. That's not the issue. The issue is not sharing. It's the fact that I have to share. The fact that I like to come on here and be the guy who wants to help you, get a different idea of how to approach things. And people message me, hey, I heard this podcast or I watched this video and what you said really resonated with me. And it gave me a whole new way to thinking. And you're such an inspiration and this and that and the other thing. And I'm sitting here with an absolute mental crisis. And I don't feel like that guy that you guys see, that you guys tell me. And I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone that reaches out. It means the world to me. I don't take it for granted. I don't always write back as fast as I should. I'm not perfect with it. I'm not the best communicator in the world, but it means a lot to me. And so when you've got this guy who a lot of people, they reach out to because they get value from my stuff, and then I got to look at myself in the mirror and feel weaker because people see this person, but now they're going to hear this podcast and then they're going to be like, well, wow, this guy really, he's got issues just like me. There may be different issues, but there are issues nonetheless. This is really tough. But I will say I'm glad that I shared it because it needed to be said flat out. It had to be said. There's no other way around it. So I'm going to keep on getting up. I got to stay in my routine. That's what's going to keep me sane. Ultimately, if I get out of my routine, I'm just screwed. And I'm already swayed away from my after hours routines, working on creative stuff. I need to get my ass back in gear on that. But I just wanted to come on here and share that with you guys. And I can't believe I just did that, but I did. So you guys want the real, the raw, the unfiltered? This is as real as it gets. I'll leave you with this. Please know that if you are having a problem, that it's not the end of the world. As bad as I feel right now mentally, I also equally feel that I will get through this. I know that I'll get through this, and that, in a matter of a couple of days or a week or 2 weeks, I'm going to be right through this. So don't ever for a moment feel like if you get one of these moments that it's all just over and done with and that there's no way out, because there always is a way out. You just got to work through it. I don't have the perfect answer for how to work through it other than finding things that make you happy, doing things that make you happy, keeping your mind off of being upset, not forgetting why, because you want to work yourself through it, but finding happy things to do and surrounding yourself with the people that love you. And that's the way through. It's not to isolate yourself, which is something that I've done for a little while. So I hope to find the answer soon to get myself through whatever the hell this is I'm going through, so I can get back on track and post some more videos for you guys and post more positive based podcasts. And I hope that we're not losing people here, because that's the last thing I want to do. I don't want to lose anybody. So I'm going to wrap it up here and just keep going, guys. No matter what, just keep going. It's one thing I figured out in this whole time is keep going. And like with the workouts, I show up, I put in the workout, and I go home and I feel accomplished because I did something. But just keep going, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Don't let your feelings slow down your actions. Don't let it bring you down. You just got to keep going. Just got to keep pushing. All right. I'm not going to do any fancy plugs or anything. You guys know where to find me. You know where to find all my stuff. Yeah. I'm going to get out of here. Again, if you guys want to be a part of the show on Anchor, leave a message. Go to anchor.fm, the app on your smartphone. You can leave messages. Be a part of the show. Interact. Be heard. And if you're from Instagram, which a lot of you are, leave your Instagram handle. It's a good way to promote your page. I'll put you out there. So thank you for listening, guys. I do appreciate it. You guys always support me. You guys always show up big for me. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I'll be back next week. I don't know what next week's show will be, but I'll be back next week with a show. End of story. Talk soon.